waking up in the morning hungover, and it got to a point where work understandably took disciplinary measures due to my performance, and that was the point where I realised that something needed to change, otherwise I was going to end up losing my job. My relationship with alcohol started probably quite young into my teenage years. I've played rugby my entire life, and I'll always remember one particular moment. My coach actually came in with a massive jug of beer after the match, so we were sort of introduced to drinking at quite an early age. Sort of in my mid to late 20s, when I began to struggle with my own mental health due to other circumstances, I started to lean on alcohol more and more in order to escape those problems that I was facing. It got to a point where I realised that it wasn't sustainable and something had to change. The drinking was a symptom of the other problems that were going on in my life. In my darkest points in life, I went through quite a bad relationship breakup, and on the back of that, I didn't have anywhere to live. I left the family home, and during that period, I also lost 3 friends, all under the age of 25. 2 of them died by suicide, and 1 was taken from us by meningitis. Most of the social activities that I did revolved around going to the pub or spending time with friends and having a drink. I started to lean on alcohol more and more in order to avoid sort of any time on my own. It was only when I eventually got my own flat, there was nowhere for me to turn anymore, there was nowhere for me to hide. And that was when, quite frankly, I didn't want to be here anymore. I thought that I was just struggling, and if I carried on struggling, eventually I'd get through it. During that time when I was off work was when that very first Andy's Man Club session was held. I didn't know what to expect. As soon as I got there, I realised that we were all in the same situation. As soon as I started talking, it all started coming out. At the end of the session, there was this electricity in the room. We all realised just how powerful having these conversations were. Since then, I've turned my life around completely. I learned to be more comfortable with myself, which meant that I could be by myself in the flat. I could come home from work and sit and play on the Xbox rather than going out to the pub. I've now able to drink and enjoy drinking alcohol rather than drinking it for a support mechanism or a crutch or anything like that. I'm in a position now where I drink to enjoy myself rather than wanting to escape anything. The more I became comfortable in my own skin, the less I was drinking to escape from it. It's almost like when you've got a rucksack on your back, and every time something happens, it's putting another stone in your rucksack. Eventually it's going to get to a point where you can't carry it anymore. So for me, Andy's Man Club is like taking some stones out of that rucksack on a weekly basis. I think the subjects that we shy away from are the things that we need to speak about the most. Quite often it's easier to hide from your problems, but that will only make things worse in the long run. If I could share one piece of advice with anybody right now, it would be there is always a way to deal with whatever you're facing. So the best thing to do is just reach out, speak to somebody, and move forward.